It was 3 in the morning. Yusuf stood by the window. In his hand a white envelope, but what was written inside was anything but white. It was black, dense black, the kind of black you find in the death notice in final announcements. Your application has not been successful at this time. The 17th letter. 7 in rejection, 7 in closed door, 7 in morning where he had risen with hope, and 7 in evenings where he had returned with nothing. Outside rain was falling. In the streets of Dhaka, rain means mud, traffic, and the smell of drains carried on the wind. But Yusuf was not looking at any of that. He was looking at a light. Far away, very far, a yellow glow in a window of some distant buildings. Someone was still awake. Someone out there. Does their night feel like this too? Do their drawers fill up with letter like mine? Inside the room, a single table lamp burned. In its trembling light, Yusuf's shadow swayed against the wall, large, then small, then large again, as if the man himself could not decide how much of himself remained. A sound came from the next door, soft like a cough. Then silence. His mother. Yusuf pushed the door open without a sound and looked in. In the half darkness, his mother lay curled beneath a thin blanket. On the bedside table, a bottle of medicine, a glass of water, and an old photograph of his father. His father had died 2 years ago, suddenly without warning, the way misfortune always arrives. Even in sleep, his mother's brow carried a faint furrow, the line of worry, the kind that age and grief curb together, lines no doctor erase. Yusuf pulled the door closed. He came back to the table, folded the letter once, twice, 3 times, then opened the drawer and placed it inside, where the 16 before it lay, side by side, like a graveyard. Each letter, the grave of our dream. He sat down. He rested his head in his hands. How long he sat like that, he didn't know. Then something came from somewhere inside him, yet somehow from very far away. Get up. Go to the mosque. Yusuf lifted his head. The clock said 3:30. Before father, the mosque would be open. He stood up. The old mosque was called Batun Nur. Everyone in the neighborhood called it simply the old mosque. The whitewash had peeled from its wall, but the carpet on the floor, deep green with woven flower patterns, was still immaculate. Someone swept it every day. Someone watered the courtyard. Yusuf entered. Inside, the silence was such that it seemed to have weight. He felt that weight, not on his shoulders, but in his chest. But this weight was different. The weight of the world outside bends a person low. His weight stilled him, made him pause, made him present. He made his ablution. The moment the cold water touched his face, his eyes filled. There was no single reason, or perhaps every reason at once. 2 years of exhaustion, waiting, failure, all of it seemed to dissolve into the water. He did not wipe his eyes. He did not want to. He stood for prayer. Allahu Akbar. As he raised his hands to his ears, he noticed they were trembling, slightly but trembling. He bowed, he prostrated. The moment his forehead touched the ground, something broke inside without sound, the way a Time does not break all at once, but slowly, quaintly, until one day the water can no longer be held. Yusuf wept in prostration, forehead pressed to the earth. He wept. He had never wept like this before, not when his father died, nor when his mother fell ill, not after the first rejection, because those tears had come in front of other, hidden behind composure. The tears were different. The tears held no shame. Ya Allah, no word came, only lips moving. But he knew this silent call was being heard, not from a king upon a distant throne, but from right here, closer than his own jugular vein. I cannot go on without you. Either, whatever you will, let it be. He stopped at those last words. They were the hardest to say. Whatever you will, let it be. These words mean setting aside your own desire, canceling your own calculations. This is not weakness, this is the most difficult courage a human being can find. At least he said them. Then he rose. A small damp patch. He stared.